Good morning, this is Sheikh Zainab Fatima of branch CSC 4th year C section, and my tech talk topic for cloud application development. Cloud application development is the basics of virtualization. Firstly, the objectives we go through is are introduction of virtualization, architecture of virtualization, types of virtualization, cloud versus virtualization, and the last but not the least, conclusion. So firstly, we'll go through the introduction of virtualization. So what virtualization is? Virtualization is a technique which allows to share a single instance of application or resource among the multiple organizations or the customers. So virtualization is proven technology that makes it possible to run multiple operating systems. Virtualization is also the process of creating logical version of a server OS, means operating system, or a storage device or the network services. The technology that works behind the virtualization is known as the virtual machine monitor or the virtual manager, which separates compute environment from the actual physical infrastructure. What is the basic concept behind the virtualization? So the concept behind this virtualization is the creation of the virtual machine over the existing operating system and the hardware. The types of machines, the virtual machines are host machine, guest machine, and the hypervisor. Host machine, the machine on which the virtual machine is created, and the guest machine is the virtual machines referred as a guest machine. Hypervisor is a firmware or a low level program that acts as a virtual machine manager. Now comes the architecture of virtualization. So you can see here the hosted hypervisor. This is one of the architecture, and the bare metal hypervisor. So this one is one. And the hosted hypervisor examples are RTS hypervisor, Oracle virtual machine ware, virtual logic. And now coming to bare metal hypervisor, the examples are KVM, VMW, VMware Fusion, Virtual Server 2005 R2, Windows Virtual PC, and the virtual machine ware workstation 6.0. So these are the architecture of virtualization. So next come how this virtualization works. Before virtualization, the software is tied to hardware. The single OS image per machine and one of the application workloads per operating system. So the applications are workload per the operating system, inflexible and the costly infrastructure. So after virtualization, multiple workloads per machine. So here you can see like only in one machine there are the multiple works which is going on, and the software is independent of hardware. The system data apps are files. So system data apps are will be like acting as files. So this is. Next comes the types of virtualization. Types of virtualizations. Firstly, hardware virtualization. operating system virtualization, server virtualization, storage virtualization. Next, firstly, we'll talk about the hardware virtualization. So, how this works and what are the usage of this? When the virtual machine software, or you can say as the virtual machine manager, is directly installed on the hardware, is known as the virtualization. So if the virtual machine is directly installed on the hardware system, so this can be known as the hardware virtualization. The main job of the hypervisor is to control or and monitor the processor, memory and the other hardware resources. So usage of this hardware virtualization. Hardware virtualization is mainly done for the server platforms because controlling a virtual machine is much easier than controlling a physical server. Come the architecture of this hardware virtualization. So here you can see the traditional architecture and the virtual architecture. So here these applications are working as the multiple applications, multiple layers. So this is the hardware virtualization. Next comes the operating system virtualization. When the virtual machine software is installed on the host operating system instead of directly on the hardware system, is known as the operating system virtualization. It means that the virtual machine is installed on the host operating system. uh, no need to no need to directly install it to the hardware system, is known as the operating system virtualization. Usage for the operating system virtualization. Operating system virtualization is mainly used for testing the applications on the different platforms of OS. Next comes the architecture of operating system operating system virtualization. The traditional operating system architecture. So here you can see as the app 1, 2, 3 and the 4. These are installed in the host operating system and the host hardware. So here in the virtual operating system architecture, you can see here the app 1 is acting as a guest operating system, and these all are the separated, which is acting with the. So what we say. Next comes the server virtualization. When the virtual machine software or the virtual machine manager is directly installed on the server system, is known as the server virtualization. So here, if your virtual machine software is directly installed on your server, so this can be known as the server virtualization. Here the usage for the server virtualization is done because a single physical server can be divided into multiple servers on the demand basis, and for the balancing the load. So for balancing the load, you can divide a single physical server into a multiple servers. So architecture for this is application operating system. So classic server installation and the visualized server installation, you can see here the application servers are divided into the multiple servers on the demand basis. So this is the server virtualization. Next comes the physical server environment. So here you can see the only physical server environment, the physical single server is divided into the multiple servers, which is known as server virtualization environment. Or- so here these are divided into the application servers like email, file and print, SQL, Oracle, etc. So next comes the storage virtualization. Storage virtualization is the process of grouping the physical storage from multiple networks storage device so that it looks like a single storage device. Storage virtualization is also implemented by using software applications. The storage virtualization, I'm saying, so the virtualization here is the grouping storages. The process of grouping the physical storage from the multiple network storage device so that it looks like a single. So multi here the multiple storage devices are acting as a single physical storage. So this is known as the single storage device. The storage virtualization is also implemented by the software application. So this virtualized storage virtualization is also been installed, or we can say implemented by the software application. So usage for the storage virtualization is mainly done for a backup or recovery purposes. So if you want to back up your mobile, or you want to back up your or reset your data which is in your laptop or something else, so you can recover by this storage virtualization. Next comes the architecture for it. So as you can see here, the virtual application servers are the fiber channel switch fabric. So here you can see the virtual application servers and the physical servers. So next comes the cloud versus virtualization. Cloud computer is internet based computing where the virtual sharer provide the software. Here you can here the cloud computer is internet based computing system, whereas this virtualization share provides a software infrastructure or the platform. Or like you can say this as the cloud computer is internet based one. Coming to virtualization, it provides the software and the infrastructure or the platform. Virtualized and pay as per use scalability. So here the virtualization can exist without the cloud, but cloud computing cannot exist without the virtualization. Why? Because here the cloud computer is the internet based one and the virtual is the software. So here comes the cloud computing server models. As you can see here, on premises computing, the applications data, runtime, middleware, and the OS. In the three cloud computing delivery methods, there is an infrastructure, software, and the platform as services. So here in the infrastructure, as you can see, the consumers provides the application data, runtime, and the middleware and the operating system. In the platform services, here you can service applications and the data. In the software as service, you can see that application data, runtime, middleware, OS, virtualization servers, and software and the networking all are acting as the service providers. So here in the platform, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, server, storage, networking are acting as a service provider. And in the infrastructure, the virtualization, servers, software, storage, networking are acting as a service provider. uh, in infrastructure, you can see here the server, storage, and networking are acting as a fabric. So this is what a cloud computing service models are. So here now comes the advantages of the virtualization. Advantages of virtualization. Here it reduces the cost, efficient hardware utilization. Visualization leads to better resource utilization and increase the performance. Testing for the software development, it also increases the availability, it saves the energy, and it shifts all the local infrastructure to the cloud in a day. And this visualization is also having a possibility to divide services, and it is also having a virtualization is also having a running application which is not supported by the host. So now comes the disadvantages of the virtualization. It has the extra cost, and it also has the software license. Now comes the conclusion for the virtualization. Mainly in this virtualization, it means the running multiple operating systems into a single machine, but sharing all the hardware resources, and it helps to provide the pool of IT resources so that we can share these IT resources in order get benefits in the business. So here we can see that the virtualization means the multiple servers into a single one, but sharing all the resources, it provides the resource, it helps us to provide the IT resources so that we can share all the IT resources in order to get benefits in our business. So one of the main cost saving, hardware reducing and energy saving techniques used by cloud providers is virtualization. So here you can in advantages of virtualization, we have read that it saves the cost, and it reduces the hardware, and it saves the energy, all this. So these are the cloud providers which are being used in the virtualization. With operating system virtualization, each of the virtual machine can use different operating systems, and the operating each operating system is isolated from the others. Use virtual machines to enabling different services to run in the separate virtual machines on the same physical machine. So this was my tech talk topic for cloud application development. Thank you.